Okay, so we're talking about Pulse and rewards. Okay, so we're talking about Pulse and rewards for liquidity providers. And of course, the first thing you'll have to do is be a liquidity provider. So you do that on Uniswap and you select pool and you're going to use PulseZen and USDC. You're creating your liquidity position in that marketplace. Now, make sure that you have PulseZen selected. If it's not showing up, you have to add it to the contract from the Etherscan, which will tell you what the contract address is. And you simply click add, and you'll be a part of liquidity providing fraternity once you've done that. Now, what you're going to do is the Uniswap system gives you Uniswap tokens. And if they're not showing up in your MetaMask wallet like they should do, head over to where the Uniswap pool is, that is the PZen and USDC pair, and you'll get the contract address, which is over here. It ends in 42 alpha, and you will add those to your MetaMask. So those are the tokens that you're going to actually deposit on the Pulse Zen reward site. And here it is. Let me just disconnect this wallet, and then we can see the whole system right from the beginning. So here we are. This is the Pulse Zen rewards. So what are we solving here? Well, the issue is that once you become a liquidity provider on Uniswap, yes, you get your transaction fees, but you lose out a little bit on the fact that you don't get automatically rewarded by holding Pulse Chain in your wallet. That doesn't work that way. So now we are going to make liquidity providers the kingpins of this whole ecosystem, because you are going to be rewarded handsomely as well as getting the transaction fees. So the URL you need to head over to is pulsezenrewards.com, and this is the site. The first thing we need to do is connect our wallet. So we click connect. I'm using a MetaMask wallet at the moment. And we're connected. You can see that up here. Just going to hide the address, of course. This is a test, but nevertheless. And here we have the rewards pools. There are 3 pools that you could possibly choose from, and you can see the details of each pool here. You can see that for locking up your LP tokens for 1 month, you're going to earn a hefty 18% APY. And if that's not good enough, if you lock up your money for 3 months, you lock up your LP tokens for 3 months, you're going to earn 22% APY. And then for those of you who are really professional investors, a 6-month lockup of your LP tokens will give you 25% APY. Now, it's important to note that you're depositing the LP tokens, and the rewards will be given to you in Pulse ZIC, PZIC totals, or the PZINC token, which is the Pulse Zen incentive coin. Now, how does that work? Well, you'll get your percentage in the PZIC coin, which you'll go onto Pulse Zen app and add to your MetaMask wallet, so you get the nice little pictures. And then when the time comes to redeem your rewards, you can, of course, keep them and just take the interest. But if you wanted to take the whole shebang, you could actually take your Pulse Zinc and swap it directly for Pulse Zen. And that's how you achieve your 18%. But of course, the whole thing here is to be a long-term holder, actually growing the ecosystem for your long-term benefit. But anyway, there's a trick to withdrawing or claiming. So say we're very happy with what's going on and we don't actually want to withdraw our liquidity tokens, then we can just hit claim reward. Now, it's not going to work here because the money's locked up for 30 days, so it just says the execution is reverted. But by claiming rewards, you'll get the PZIC in your wallet, but the PLP that you previously deposit remains in the system without you having to re-enter the LP tokens, and it can just keep generating you income as long as you like. But if you are starting off on the 1-month system, you can withdraw and start again on the 3 or maybe 6-month system if you want to do it that way. There are some other things on the page. This is your activity. This shows you what you've done. And here we have the Ecosphere. These are contracts that you might want to use. And over here we've got the shopping, which is coming soon for merchandise. This is the Pulse Zen app website. This is the link to the contract for PZen, just so you can double check on the Ethereum chain. This is the Pulse Zen contract on Pulse chain. Over here is the PZIC ETH contract, which is the only one that you're interested in the moment, because the liquidity providers are Pulse Zen and USDC on the Ethereum blockchain. Later on, we'll maybe have the Pulse chain. Here we have Pulse Zen from Pulse chain. And here we have Pulse Zen from Ethereum. Don't forget this magnificent system where you can impart value on both chains by continually swapping between 2 chains. I'm not just talking about bridging. There's actually marketplaces on either chain for the comparative Pulse Zen from PulseChain and Pulse Zen from Ethereum. It's a fantastic system, which a lot of you don't realize is actually there. There's just a little bit of an introduction video, and then, of course, the latest price chart of Pulse Zen to USDC. So there we have it. In a nutshell, this is the fabulous Pulse Zen rewards system. It's open. If you can see this video, it's available for you right now. Remember, you have to be a liquidity provider on Uniswap in the Pulse Zen USDC pairing. Bring over those tokens, put them in your wallet if you haven't got them already, and then bring them over to the Pulse Zen reward system. It's very likely that it'll be a very small number, and you can see here that somebody's actually deposited 0.6 zeros and a 1 of your Uniswap tokens. And this is because of the Uniswap system. They actually throw out very small numbers for their liquidity positions, unless you happen to own a lot of liquidity, of course. And that's it. That's the introduction. This is a fantastic reward system that was previously in the cupboard. We brought it out because people may want to use it. And of course, what is this going to do? It's going to grow the entire ecosystem for everybody and everybody that's involved. So it just keeps rolling on and rolling on and rolling on. This, again, is a system that is going to last now forever. It's built on the blockchain. Contract is already up. The contract, of course, has been audited, and you can see the audit later on. And there we have it. An amazing system. One of the things that I found in the cupboard, there are some more things in the cupboard that I think you might be interested in coming forward in the next few months. One of them, I know you'll be interested in to know whether we're going to be launching on PulseChain, and the answer to that is maybe. There are some issues with PulseChain, remarkably, that we did not anticipate, and so therefore we're doing it on Ethereum because Ethereum is the most widely known chain. If you ask anybody who's involved in crypto, apart from those in the know, nobody has even heard of PulseChain. And of course, with all the debacle going on, it may be not the idea to launch right this moment in time. But on Ethereum, the well-established chain that we are also part of, that's why we are launching here. So as you can see, this is a beautifully intricate yet simple system. And of course, the interesting thing is going to be, where is this going to lead us all? Well, I'm Conrad Zen, former Bitcoin Foundation member and now evangelist for Pulse Zen. And the first thing I should say to you is, of course, a live broadcast, Murphy's Law, everything and anything will go wrong. So the first thing is, can you hear me before we continue? If you'd like to put a number 5 in the chat before I continue on. Meanwhile, Slanjivar, everyone. Nice to see a few people live here today. Very funny time to do a broadcast, but have to do it. Oh, we got a 5. So I think we're okay. We're good to go for this one. So in essence, what you do is you become a liquidity provider on Uniswap by joining the Pulse Zen USDC pairing, create a marketplace. You will get the transaction fees, but of course, the idea of you losing out on the automatic rewards by holding Pulse Zen in your wallet, you kind of are not eligible for that because you're transferring your Pulse Zen into the Uniswap system. But now, with this very elegant system, we can actually utilize those LP tokens that you get from Uniswap in your MetaMask or whatever wallet that you're using, bring them over to the Pulse Zen reward system, where you can then deposit them in your pool of choice, the 1 month or the 3 month or the 6 month lockup, and we will pay you staggering amounts of rewards for doing that, because you are actually helping the entire ecosphere grow for everyone. And of course, you as a liquidity provider should be rewarded handsomely for doing that. And so for 1 month, it's 18% APY, as we threw out a couple of months ago to see what the reaction would be. followed by 22% for the 3-month lockup and 25% for the 6-month lockup. And this is only just the beginning. Now, the interesting question is, so we have a new token, as you may have gathered. It's called PZINC, the PulseZen Incentive Token. And the interesting thing to think about this is that token would actually become more valuable than PulseZen. Why? Well, it's the native reward token, but it is extremely scarce. Because where do you get it from? You only get it if you are a liquidity provider and you bring in your liquidity tokens into the PulseZen reward system. Now, funnily enough, initially, I'm sort of thinking that the pricing of Pulse, the incentive token PZIC, is going to be about 5 to 6 times that of PulseZen. So that one Pulse incentive token is going to be worth about 5 PulseZen, which will put the interest rates into astronomical figures, which I'm not going to speculate on, but it will be very interesting to see what is going to happen going forward. So PulseZen itself is a finished product. But like I said before, there are certain things that have happened in the past that we're sort of like bringing out of the cupboard over here and presenting to the world to enhance the sort of capabilities of the ecosphere. And the ecosphere is growing daily. If I can just show you, for example, what's happened in the last little while, I'm not quite sure how this works. Let's have a quick look. Okay. So here we have, what is this? Okay, this is Morales. Our good friend Ivan on Tech has been very gracious enough to list PulseZen. And so when we type it into the search bar, here it is, and you can see all the information that you need to see about PulseZen. And you can see the latest price graph here. And if I narrow this down a minute, you can see that we're green candles at the moment at 0.003441. And this is the actual pool that you will become a liquidity provider for, PulseZen USDC pool on Ethereum. So thank you very much for listing this. Whoever did this is great. Nice to see this, and nice to see this coin ranking site come into fruition. This is going to be a real boon to the crypto community. We can have a look at something else, because now on PulseZen for the token information, we have Dex Screener, which has always been a favorite of mine, but now they've got even more information about the token, both on Ethereum and on Pulse Chain. So you can get to see the latest, what's happening immediately through Dex Screener. Having a look just now for real-time statistics. Yeah, we're up today. Big green candles up to 84.83. So there's that. What else is going on? Yeah, some other things going on. We've got a ranking site coming. And now, if we go to PulseZen.app, you'll see that you can add the PulseZen token to your where is it? Let me just find it. Oh, we lost the sound again. Oh, it would go off like this. Okay, what I'm trying to say is on the PulseZen.app, before you do anything, let's have a look at PulseZen app, because this is where you're going to go to add your PulseZen coin in the first place. So if I can just show you, here we go. On the PulseZen.app website, we have a little button here which says add PZen to MetaMask. This is the best way if you haven't come into the family so far. This is where you would add the coin before you start trading. And you can now do the same thing for PZIC. This will pop up a little window here, and you can add the token directly to MetaMask, just like this, along with a very nice little graphic that represents PZINC. So that's the way to do it on pulsezen.app. The ranking site is going to be quite fun. That's going to be a very interactive chart, and you can see exactly where you rank according to everybody else. So it's all happening. It's all exciting stuff, that is for sure. PulseZen is a finished product, as we keep saying, but there are exciting things on the horizon. One of the things is, for people who are not involved in crypto, but can really see through what's happening in their country's financial systems and how they're controlled by the governments, they've got to find a way out. You've got to find a way out, because otherwise you are basically just slaves to the government, with inflation actually keeping you down. That is for sure. I was talking to some finance guys today in the UK who were trying to convince me that the best fund that they were going to offer, had a return this year so far of -6%. And I'm kind of thinking, -6%? And their argument was, yeah, most funds are down by nearly 60%, and this one's only down by 6%. And I was thinking to myself, I think we can do rather better than that in the crypto world. And here we are. So going forward, what we want to be able to do is to onboard people in the simplest possible manner. Right now, it's quite involved. It's quite a leap of faith to get involved in cryptocurrency in the first place. And then all the hurdles that you have to go through. Like the first thing that you need to do is you have to install a self-custodial wallet like MetaMask. You have to try and understand what that's all about. You have these things called seed phrases, which sounds scary. And if you lose them, or if you show them to somebody else, you could lose all your money. Self-custody means that you're in charge of it's nice to have your own bank, but you're in charge of its security. So it will pay you to, before you even begin your journey, to make sure that you have a Trezor or a Ledger or some other kind of hardware wallet before you even start. And then after you've got MetaMask installed, you then have to fund your wallet either through MetaMask or opening up a Coinbase account. Then you have to buy Ethereum. And then if you want to come into the PulseZen family, you have to buy USDC to buy PulseZen with. So it's quite an involved process, obviously worth the rewards in the end if you can stick it through. But for your average guy on the street, it's not that easy. So we are working very hard to make that onboarding process a little bit easier, the results of which we hope to see in the next couple of months. And that will be on both chains, that's for sure. On that very note, I've given you the idea that pulseandrewards.com is a way forward. It's available to anybody right now. You can make sure that you're a liquidity provider on Uniswap already. Make sure that the tokens are inside your wallet, and then come over to pulseandrewards.com and then choose whatever pool you want. Now, don't forget, when you are buying PZen, you have to you have to change the standard slippage on any exchange that you're going to buy PulseZen through. It has to be set to 3%, because if you don't set the slippage to 3%, the transaction will not go through, because we're sending some of your coins into the various different pools. And if you don't allow the system to do that, then you won't be able to buy it. So don't forget, when you're buying PulseZen, you have to set the slippage to 3%. One of the interesting products that's on PulseChain is Peteas, Peteas.io. I think they're a fantastic team, and they've done a fantastic job. If you don't want to use, of course, the evergreen PulseX, which, of course, is the native exchange on PulseChain. Now, on that, once you've got your PulseZen on either chain. I want to just go through another thing that we set up, which is phenomenal. It's a very elegant system again, but it is very simple. But it enables you to impart economic energy on both chains, Pulse chain and Ethereum. And I'm not just talking about bridging, I'm talking about being able to swap natively on either chain, Pulse Zen from Pulse chain to Ethereum, Pulse Zen on Ethereum, and Pulse Zen Ethereum to Pulse Zen on Pulse chain. This is a phenomenal system. In fact, it's so good. I would like you to have a look at this and see if I can explain it a bit better. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is add our PZen tokens to our MetaMask on the Ethereum chain. So make sure you've got MetaMask installed and that you are on the Ethereum chain. You'll see that in the top left hand corner. So we're going to add PZen to MetaMask. So we just click the button. It says add PZen, we'll just accept that. Add to MetaMask. And here we go. Now you can see that PZen is added with the correct symbol. Now, the next thing you want to do is add PZen from Pulse chain to your MetaMask, and you do that by importing the token. So if, for example, we are here, we scroll down, we go to import tokens, and then we need to go to custom token, and then we need to paste in the contract address for Pulse Zen from Pulse chain on Ethereum, and these contracts are linked below. Okay, so now you have got Pulse Zen and Pulse Zen from Pulse chain on Ethereum. Now you want to change the network to Pulse chain, and we're going to do the same thing on Pulse chain. So we're going to scroll down, import tokens, and we need to paste in the first address, which is this one, which is Pulse Zen. This is Pulse Zen on Pulse chain. You can see that we have already added it. The next contract that we need to add is Pulse Zen from Ethereum. So again, we go to import contracts, and you'll see that the contract is given below, and we can add it here. And so then we end up with Pulse Zen on Ethereum, Pulse Zen from Pulse chain on Ethereum. Then switching over to the Pulse chain network, we've got PZen on Pulse chain network and PZen from Ethereum on the Pulse chain network. Okay, so in this video we're going to buy Pulse Zen on Pulse chain, and then we're going to bridge that back to Ethereum, and then we're going to use the Pulse Zen from Pulse chain on Ethereum to buy Pulse Zen on Ethereum using the bridge. Now this is a very powerful way of trying to get both Pulse Zen on Pulse chain and Pulse Zen on Ethereum to be at equilibrium. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that you've got MetaMask installed, obviously, and we're on the Pulse chain network. And next we go to app.pulsex.com, and we can either install and run the bridge from your own desktop, or you can just use the web version, making sure that it all looks kosher. Now, the first thing you'll see is that if you're interacting on Pulse chain, you obviously need to have Pulse. So I'm assuming you've got Pulse in your wallet. But we want to interact with Pulse Zen. And Pulse Zen is not a coin that shows on the list, so we have to paste in the contract address, and then it says import it. Yes, I understand, and that's what I want to buy. So we're on PulseX, and we're going to buy Pulse Zen using Pulse. So I'm going to use 10,000 Pulse, sorry, a bit more than that, 100,000 Pulse, to buy some PZen. And there we have it. That's our PZen bought on Pulse Chain using Pulse. And the easiest way to get the bridge is, remember what the URL is. So you can head over to pulsechain.com and then click bridge. And again, we can run that from our computer. Now, I've already connected my MetaMask and it's asked me what I want to do. Well, obviously, I want to send PZen from Pulse Chain to Ethereum. So I've got to make sure that we've got the right PZen here. So it's this one, which is ending in, if you have a look at the coin details, you can see it ends in B0. Okay, so we know that we're sending the right one. So it says we have a balance of 100 and 1,000. Well, that is not correct. So what we want to do is make sure that we choose the right PZen. So we can simply type it in here. This is the one we want. So we've got 10,000 PulseZen, and we're going to send that to Ethereum. Well, how much are we going to send? Well, we'll send 5,000 PulseZen over to Ethereum. And then we click send, authorize the bridge to send 5,000, which I will do. Of course, you're going to use your ledger in this process. I'm just authorizing the transaction. Okay, so when the transaction is validated, here we are on the transactions page on the bridge URL, and we have to claim the tokens on the Ethereum network. So make sure you switch to Ethereum within MetaMask, and then you can just hit claim. This will have to be validated again. Hopefully you're using a ledger. And when the claim process is finished, voila, you have your tokens in your MetaMask wallet. Now the next thing is to buy some PulseZen on Ethereum using your bridged over PulseZen. Let's go there next. Now I'm going to head over to Uniswap, and I'm going to swap my PulseZen from Pulse Chain to Pulse on Ethereum. So we're in Ethereum now, and now we have to use our token. Well, it seems that it's not there, so we have to put in the address of PulseZen from Pulse Chain on Ethereum, and that address is linked below. The contract address is linked below. So PZen from Pulse Chain on Ethereum is here. And we just pop that in, and you'll see that it says PulseZen from Pulse Chain. Import that, and now we're going to buy PulseZen. Again, you may have to import it using the contract address, but I've already done so. So there's our 4,877 PulseZen from Pulse Chain, and we want to buy some PulseZen on Ethereum. So I'm going to use 2,000. And it says that I don't have enough ETH balance, so you need to make sure that you've got ETH in your wallet in order to make this transaction. Okay, so we swap, having got some Ethereum, approve the swap, and so you can see we've got PulseZen on Ethereum and PulseZen from Pulse Chain on Ethereum. And you can happily swap this as many times as you like, trying to ratio trade and we'll see what happens with the price on both Pulse Chain and Ethereum. So the key to all this is once you own PulseN on either chain, whether it be Ethereum or on Pulse Chain, when those coins are in your wallet, they're yours and you will earn the rewards from either chain. It's an amazing system to be able to transfer economic energy from one to the other chain. And we don't know where this is going to go, but it's going to be very interesting to see that going on as well. So that is bridging my understanding as we go forward. So the other day, the other thing that I was able to do, as I do from time to time, is a little go in one of these. Very nice. But I had to crawl in it. By the way, that house that was featured in that little advert used to belong to a next door neighbor of mine. They were the closest house on Sicily. I say was because I've now left the island. Um, Loved it, but doesn't really fit into future plans. But what you're interested in is whether you could buy one.
The power of PulseZen is in the compounding interest code. Let's look at today's numbers. On Pulse Chain, 1 million PulseZen at $0.0009 costs just $900. The daily pay it forward code can average for the year 500 PulseZen per 1 million held per day. So you are making 45 cents a day, or $164.50 or so a year. So that works out to a whopping 18.2% a year, no staking, no lockup. However, if you imagine the growth in PulseZen, imagine daily volume increases and price is 30 cents. Everything looks shockingly different. The daily PIF is now $150 a day at 30 cents per PulseZen. That generates compounding rewards of about $54,750 a year, which is a staggering 5,375% APY. Go see for yourself at pulsezen.app.
Well, let's hope so. One thing, though, if you need if your news of the world and what's going on, you would be right to be very, very depressed right now because everything is such doom and gloom, especially here in the UK, where I am at the moment, up in Scotland, albeit. But I'm going to say that things have never looked so bright. We are on the cusp of an enormous financial revolution here. There's no doubt about it. We are seeing that DeFi is coded finance. And coded finance is the wave of the future. We're building things here that are going to last for thousands of years. You know, the average company lasts for 75 years. That's the average company, 75 years. We're building stuff that's going to last for generations and generations. It's immutable code. And you're putting trust in the code, not in a third person. That is the most important thing. I mean, I tried to do a transfer this morning with a normal fiat bank to Australia, and I'm pulling my hair out trying to make this work in a certain time frame. And the amount of fees and frustration just to get my own money to my own bank account is absolutely phenomenal. If we could just all move away from that system into the world of cryptocurrency, into the world of DeFi, the world is going to be a better place. It doesn't matter how much the politicians go on about, it being the currency of fraudsters and terrorists and all that sort of jazz. Money is the asset that all these guys use, far more than crypto. How much money do you think that they lost through scams, for example, the banks, just in fiat terms? Never mind about crypto. There's no comparison between the two. So all of this stuff that you hear on mainstream media is complete garbage, actually. So we have a very, very exciting future to look forward to, all of us. You've just got to find the information from other places. Watch my channel, watch other people's channel on crypto, and you will begin to realize that there is a whole new underground world out there that's going to revolutionize the way that we live now and into the future. So if you haven't already joined us, then I highly suggest you do a bit of homework and get cracking to it. Another statistic that I just read the other day was that 6% of 401k holders in America have taken their funds out. Those funds are supposed to be, retirement plans are supposed to be for retirement. Well, what's going on if you're taking out your money now? I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. And the reason for that, of course, is inflation, which they say is down to 2% or less than 2%. Therefore, they're lowering interest rates. Oh my God. Have you seen how much it costs to fill up your car in America right now? I've never seen gas prices so high in all my life. Again, in the UK, inflation is supposed to be coming down. That's because airfares have come down. How many people travel once a week, apart from me? You really have to be very wary of what you read, and of course, what you listen to, and of course, what you see, especially these days. With AI, it's going to be a battleground. And the interesting thing is, what is going to be the way that you recognize the truth and what is not truth? And it's going to be quite interesting going forward. But for us, our family, the Paulsen family, we are looking at an incredibly bright future. There's no doubt about it. So I think I said quite a lot today, and I hope this gives you some idea of where we are and where we're all going to be going forward. And hey, if you've got some burning questions, now is the time to ask them on chat, and I'll have a quick few minutes and see if we go through. Pulse1 was designed to fly on PulseChain when PulseChain LP rewards. Yeah, well, we would like to do it as soon as possible, but there are some hiccups before we can actually offer this on the PulseChain network, which is quite surprising. But, the interesting thing is about Ethereum. Ethereum is the number one blockchain. There's no argument about that. And you might say, well, the fees are astronomical. Well, that's why we all voted with our dollars for PulseChain. Didn't quite go the way we wanted it to so far, but the fact of the matter is it is commensurately cheaper than Ethereum. Or is it? If you install a gas tracker, I mean, like now, for example, we are looking at a relative 8.9 figure. I've seen that go up today to just under 40. So from about 6 to 40, huge in the price of gas, which means that if you know when to trade, or when to not trade, gosh, that's a dirty word, when you want to buy or sell for that reason, or swap between the bridges, or become a liquidity partner, you really need to have a look at these gas trackers and try and understand, those fees do vary. And there's lots of things going on underneath the hood for Ethereum that are all going towards driving the cost of transaction down. Because if anybody knows, it's old matey boy from Ethereum that Vitalik Buterin I'm talking about. He knows that this is a big issue for the chain going forward. And I believe that they're doing everything they can to actually lower those fees. I mean, Ethereum blockchain is going to be around forever, and the fees are just going to go down and down. Now, the fees on PulseChain are going to go up and up. Now, I'm not saying that they are going up at the moment because, it is still the case that for pennies you can transact, whereas it costs dollars on Ethereum, or a couple of dollars at least. But I'm not discounting Ethereum blockchain in the slightest. I think actually for now, it's probably the better chain. but that's up to you to do your own research in, of course. Any other sort of questions that you'd like to know? Anything you'd like to know about PulseZen rewards that wasn't quite made clear to you? You can, of course, rewind this video after we've uploaded the final version after the live and go through it all again. Should be fairly straightforward. You become a liquidity provider on Ethereum in the PulseZen USD pair. You bring those tokens across to the PulseZen reward system and you choose your pool, either 1 month, 3 month, or 6 month lockup, and then you get the commensurate rewards. It couldn't be simpler. Of course, you don't have to take it out. You can just take the interest in PZIC, and 1 PZIC is going to be worth about 5p cent. So, it's an amazing system. I keep saying it's elegant, but very, very simple at the same time. Fun TV says Pulse Chain PZen is more volume, hence more liquidity fees. That's more PZync, right? No, the PZync is, well, yes and no. The PZync is determined by the amount of PZen you're depositing. We're talking about interest rates on PZen, even though you're paid in PZIC. So the liquidity tokens represent your holdings on Uniswap, a certain amount of PulseZen and a certain amount of USDC dollars. So it's the PulseZen that, of course, that you're getting the interest on, because that's basically what you're losing out on by not having it in your wallet. So we've made it extremely attractive now to become a liquidity provider. PZync, what are the tokenomics? What is stopping the constant sell pressure? Well, like I say, the fact of the matter is, where are you going to get PZync from? It's going to be very interesting to look at what happens with these tokenomics going forward. There is all sorts of unanswered questions about the economic value that's going to be imparted by the new coin PulseZync. It's never been done before, so we can't really look at anything in history that's doing this. Don't forget, there are no fees for you on the pulserewards.com system. We, as developers, aren't taking any fees, which is unheard of. There is no fees for us at all. Okay, so everything that is generated as rewards on that system goes to the family, goes to the PZen holders. That's what this is designed for. I keep telling you, there's no shortage of wealth in life. There is just the way that we need to circulate the rewards. We need a better redistribution system. Any other questions? Well, I'm here for about 24 hours before I zoom off back into the sunshine again, go back home. It's been a very busy couple of months for me, and I've seen places that I didn't even know existed. Done a lot of flying. I'm extremely dehydrated and tired, as it were. So hopefully we'll garner more interest as we go forward with more and more talks going on. I'm due to talk over the next couple of months. So that's going to be very interesting to try and get people interested in the system who aren't actually involved in crypto. And as I say, we are working very hard. Well, no, we're not working very hard. It's already there. It's in the cupboard over there. It's coming out. We're going to bring it to you. We're going to make onboarding just a couple of clicks. That's the goal. That is the goal, to try and get people onboarded who don't know anything about crypto, who haven't even got a MetaMask wallet installed. We want them to go from fiat to PulseZen in a couple of mouse clicks without even thinking what they're doing. That's where we need to be in this industry. And we are going to do it. We are going to be the first to do it. And there we are. So plenty of good cheer to look forward to. Alcine says, will you live stream more, need more interest? Yeah, I'm extremely busy right now, but once we get back home, I will certainly be doing more live streams. I can see myself taking the boat out and just sitting there and doing live streams. So we're going to be able to do that. That is for sure. Because, yeah, people want to know the information. And we've got all sorts of different things planned for the future. All right. In the UK, it's getting quite late. I think I've been up since 2 o'clock last morning, so I am definitely feeling a little bit tired now. Oh, hope you like the watch, by the way. Pulsen watches. Somebody's made these watches. They are available. All you have to do is to drop your address, your wallet address, and you'll be sent an NFT, which will enable you to purchase a limited edition, multi-million-pound watch, by the way. What it represents is, of course, they're very cheap. Can't remember exactly how much you're going to pay for them, but they're very cheap. But they are a cracking watch, that is for sure. Pulsen. All right. Well, sorry about the glitches earlier on. Murphy's Law, as you say, trying to do lives, things go wrong all the time. And of course, stupid old me should have tested the microphone out before we even started. Won't happen again. Well, it probably will, but thanks very much for pointing that out. So I'm going to bid you adieu. A very good evening to you, very good morning, very good afternoon, wherever you are. And so for now, I'm signing off. Conrad Zen, Sanjivar, everybody.